Tall stories. It's an all-star cast on a high pheasant day with Andy Crowe, Jason Doyle, Dan Thor, Brody Woollard and Paul Childerley.
Got a few celebrities here, haven't we?
Don't call them celebrities. Don't call them celebrities.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of Instagram walk, there'll be a lot of phones out.
Top of the pups, what to look for in a new Labrador. Ollie Williams asks gundog breeder David Templar. Chris Packham tells the Climate Talks he wants to be shooting's friend.
I know plenty of people who shoot who share my intense passion to protect the natural world.
We're giving away a pile of Jack Pyke kit. We have news, we have hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Some shoots require a little more experience than others. Upperwood on Saddleworth Moor is one of them. But then throw a 20-mile-an-hour wind into the mix and even our special team of guns needs to bring their A game.
To watch them come off there, looking like they're going straight, but ending up over there, it's nuts.
What do you think, Brody?
Bring your coat, it's cold.
Sensible suggestion from the British Open clay champion there. As luck would have it, we have plenty of outdoor wear as Jack Pyke is hitting two birds with one stone. Catalogue shooting and field tester filming day on the Friday and shoot day with James and his team on the Saturday.
Nice and low?
Let's join Jason, Crowe, Wayne, Brody, Paul, Dan, Glenn and Gav in a lineup that's like a Marvel epic, each with their own superpower, and they're going to need them.
Just a couple of bounty birds to look out for that we're raising a little bit of money for the air ambulance, with some white pheasants and with some American turkeys. They will fly, so what we say, whoever shoots it doesn't pay, the rest put 20 quid a piece into the air ambulance fund.
It's been 4 years since we were last here and James, like every other shoot in the country, has had a tough time of it.
Yeah, it was shocking. It were awful. It were mental strain as well. There were, as Doug said, there'd be a lot would struggle with depression with it.
But do you feel that using Boris's term, have you bounced back better?
Yeah.
Do you feel there's a real energy?
Yeah, I must say I had no enthusiasm setting the season up. But once we got to the first shoot day and the birds were flying well, the enthusiasm came straight back, and as you'll see today, things are on fire. So there's a smile back. Everyone is bouncing. To be fair, the beaters are enjoying it. It's nice to see everyone out.
So today, quite a team of guns.
Got a few celebrities here, haven't we?
Don't call them celebrities. Don't call them celebrities.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of Instagram walk. There'll be a lot of phones out. No pressure, eh? Look at them here now getting together. We'll be fine, won't we, David? No, you're welcome. Nice to see you again.
Jason, with young lab Hector, draws the short straw and ends up with David on the first drive.
First time here, yes?
First time here, yeah. This has been a bucket list shoot for me for the last few years. It's one of those shoots that just has a reputation for delivering the whole package. Super bird, super hospitality, family run, really friendly atmosphere, and people that come here that I know just absolutely love it. And they're quite media savvy here as well, so I'm very aware of the shoot, seen lots of videos, Instagram stuff that James puts up, and you guys have done film here as well. And yeah, so it's one of those places that's been on my radar for a long time. So very excited to come, and very grateful to Jack Pyke for organising it. It's pretty wild up here, and yeah, we should see some good stuff. We've got a probably best part of 20-mile-an-hour crosswind, so anything coming out is going to be sliding on that wind and curling as well, so it's going to make for really testing stuff.
We're asking everyone we filmed today what they're shooting to get an idea of what to bring on a high bird shoot like this.
I'm shooting a Rosini Exmoor round body, 32-inch barrels. It's a pair of Rosinis I had custom made. I'm using Hull High Pheasant Extreme Hydro Wad, that's Hull's new biodegradable sort of cup wad. 34 gram 5s, 3/4 choke, and hopefully that'll work. We'll see. Find out soon enough. Here's a good pheasant coming, David. Still a good pheasant. That's what we want.
Jason is a fantastic game shot and is finding it hard to judge these birds. They're tough to read.
I was way off line to start with. I'm having to sort of shoot 2-3 feet to the right of stuff to be on line. And I started to move my line and then I tipped a couple on the wing. My lead felt good. Keepers have done a great job here with this wind to push everything right up to the end of the line. So it's catching the wind and coming down and covering everyone. It's what's really interesting about a day like this where conditions aren't ideal. Watching how the beaters and keeper change it and manoeuvre the drives to make it work.
It's the sort of day that could leave you with PTSD.
Shot cry.
Post-traumatic shooting disorder.
It was an educational experience.
Is that what you put it down to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had probably 30 shots, 35 shots, killed 3 clean, a couple of pheasants, nice partridge, and yeah, everything else. I just really struggled with the line, to be honest. When you see birds coming for such a long time and they're like hanging against that, fighting against the wind and then curling on it as well. Yeah, it was right at the end of the drive when I sort of figured out where I needed to be. Yeah. Pheasant Preservation Society.
Can I just say, you were the bravest out of everybody, because everyone, when I said, can I put my microphone on you? They was like, no.
No, I don't mind taking one for the team. Actually, there's one of the, must have just landed it during the drive. It's one of the new Hull hydro wads. So it's like looks for all intents and purposes like a plastic wad, but that's compostable or biodegradable. I'm not sure what the right description is, but it'll melt away anyway.
Okay.
Not do any damage.
Everyone's joining the party.
Everyone's joining the party, yeah. Yeah. How we do?
How's that work?
Was hard work.
Yeah. The fittest beaters in the country head up and round to push the birds off the hill that had been to our backs. Wayne Martin, normally with a catapult up his sleeve, has never shot anything like this in his life.
So, Mr. Martin.
Yep.
What sort of pheasant shooting and partridge shooting you're used to?
No, this is my first. I've shot local sort of stuff, 25, 30 yards, but this is a different kettle of fish.
How'd you go on the first drive?
They're not too bad. I've got a tendency to always overlead things. I've done a lot of clay shooting, and I find clays tend to fly a lot faster as a rule. So I tend to give the game generally more lead when I first start, and I always have to sort of cut myself back. So I started off shooting in front of them a fair bit, then sort of cut back a bit and seem to find them all right. So hopefully we can get a few good ones here.
Quite a view, isn't it? Really lovely.
Spectacular. You can't get the vastness of it on camera. I don't think. I've seen it on film. I've watched the YouTube videos that you've done, but to be here in person and look around, it's stunning. Absolutely stunning.
So I want to know, what's your shotgun?
Right.
What's the chokes?
Right.
And what are the shells?
Okay. We've got a Krieghoff Super Sport. I've got 3/4 and 3/4 titanium chokes in. These are the chokes that come with the gun, and I'm using the Game Ball Quad Seal. They're 34/4s, and it's the first time I've used the Quad Seal. And I've got to say, massively impressed. I'm not a fan of fibre shell cartridges. They generally got a pop sound. They feel very weak, slow. But these are just like a plastic. It's fast, hard hitting. You wouldn't know you're not shooting a plastic shell, and genuinely you wouldn't. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he might be on our way to us. Oh! Yeah. They don't necessarily come straight down. Yes!
Wayne does really well and certainly makes the most of the Jack Pyke invite. The drives last for ages with birds slowly drip feeding across the valley.
Happy with that first one then?
Very happy with that one. Very happy with that one. I reckon I put probably a good 12 foot on that. A good 12 foot of lead.
At 11's it's a chance to speak to Brody Woollard, who won his first major championship just a few weeks ago. Jack Pyke has supported him for years.
Saddleworth Moor, first time for you. So how have you found it so far?
It's brilliant. I love the scenery. I just love it all, because I haven't witnessed much of this really, because I haven't done much game shooting. And I just love being outside really, with everyone, good friends. I started getting into clay shooting to get better at game shooting, and then clay shooting really took over. So he's just never really done much game shooting really.
What the speed of the bird's going to be on this next drive, do you reckon?
Oh, they're definitely going to be coming fast, 100%.
Next up is Dan Thor, and the wind has really got up. These birds are going to be super tough.
Brody shooting very well. I've seen Andy take a few good birds, Glenn and Gav as well, but I've shot a few, but just not shooting my usual self.
Okay, listen, I've asked everybody, what gun are you shooting, what chokes have you got, and what shows are you
Today I've gone for my gun today, the Browning B525 Hunter Elite. Trying out some new Express, they're 40 gram threes. Also trying their new steel bio wads, which are a 32-4 as well.
Okay.
They seem to be killing very well. They hold a nice tight pattern there. So
okay,
we'll just
chokes?
see. Improved, modified and modified today. So a bit sort of half and half, a bit tighter.
Okay.
So it's not too bad. I just wish I could hit them. And Jace. Sharp. Nice shot, mate.
Out of all the products filmed yesterday, the one that caused the most interest from passers-by was the Jack Pyke ghillie suit.
I seem to have had the short straw and what we was wearing, laying down in the soaking wet grass and heather, but that's a part of the experience, I guess. But no, it was really good, and hopefully we've got some good footage there.
I mean, there's not many people who can pull an outfit off like that, but I think it did very well.
Well, yeah, it's a bit odd. I got a few funny looks, didn't I, by a few of the walkers coming past, but yeah, they've got some good products out, and hopefully people will see that in the film.
After the wind comes the rain, and our last drive is with Andy. On the way we bump into Paul, who's been holding his own on his first trip to Upperwood.
It's funny, you shoot these high, long, fast birds, it's demoralising, what can be. Yeah, when you're used to shooting like
minus 20.
2 to 1, 3 to 1, and then you're shooting to like 5 to 8 to 1. So, it's like, yeah, but then when you're on it.
I said if you got
Now please excuse the lack of hearing protection. Getting the wet gear together meant they were left in a different pocket. Anyway, this will be an interesting finish to the day.
I've been dodging you all day, David.
I'm dodging all day, trying to avoid you, but I've ended up here. So yeah. It's,
brought the weather with you.
Weather's caught up with us, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. That's this place, isn't it? That's what makes it what it is.
Those birds have just been rocket fueled, haven't they, really?
I can remember there was one in particular I shot in the last drive, stonking bird, and as soon I pulled through it, and as I come through it I thought I'd give it too much, but pulled the trigger at the same time and thinking I'd given it too much, and it just killed it, stone dead. Absolute stonking bird. And
so basically that was a mistake.
It was a mistake, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't mind admitting it, I still do want it was a mistake. But I was up the bank a bit and I see some awesome birds.
So I want to know the chokes you've used, the shell you're using, the gun you're using.
I'm using my Blaser F16, I had 3/4 choking, 2 3/4. I've been using number 4 shot, 34 gram, quad seal, dark storms. You don't come here under cartridge, you've got to come here with a decent cartridge.
The guys are wet and weary, but what a day to remember. James tells us it's a shot count of 5 to 1, which according to him is respectable. All it's left to say is a big thank you to Jack Pyke for the invitation and their generosity. Plus, let's not forget this is a British company and they do important things like supporting young talent like Brody from when his shotgun was bigger than he was. For more information about the Jack Pyke range, go to jackpyke.co.uk.
Yeah, super day.
It's been great fun, hasn't it?
There's been a few laughs, and Jack Pyke have been kind enough that not all the stuff we've been playing with is going to go back to the warehouse. They've given it to us to give away, so it's going to be given to a lucky Fieldsports Nation member. There's a variety of sizes and styles, and some of it has quite a bit of mud on it.
Big, skinny and meat.
Some of it might smell a bit as well.
I smell. I'm a farmer, man.
But if you stay tuned to the show, and if you're a member of Fieldsports Nation, you could be in with a chance to win all this gear.
Thank you, Jason. Now from more to less. It's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. A Scottish ad agency has made a video encouraging bullying of Hunt supporters. The union put out a film asking people to photograph Hunt supporters and harass them whenever they see them. Glasgow-based production Attic made the video, which is thought to have cost 6 figures, including casting 2 hunters advertised as white, European descent, aged between 25 to 70. Thanks to Alan Rowland for sending in the story. It's third time lucky for the League Against Cruel Sports. After its unworkable laws banning fox hunting in Scotland plus England and Wales, it's now having a go in Northern Ireland. The animal rights organisation is backing local politician John Blair's bill, now published, which seeks to ban the hunting of all mammals with dogs except mice and rats, plus outlawing terrier work, trail hunting and even the accidental killing of animals by drag hunts. Northern Irish hunt supporters will face a year in prison if the law is passed. One of the UK's most active hunt saboteur groups has been caught taking pictures of underage girls. According to local reports, Sheffield saboteurs doorstepped to riding stables on a non-hunting day and videoed young girls riding out on their ponies. The riding stable's owner says the police made arrests, though South Yorkshire Police have not confirmed that. A landlady has told Talk Radio how animal rights extremists are threatening to bomb her pub. The Saddle Inn in York invited Father Christmas to hand out presents to children. The activists made threats of arson after finding out that 2 reindeer would turn up. Pub landlady Rebecca Eccles tells Talk Radio host Peter Cardwell how that threat escalated.
This animal rights activist group, who I won't name because I don't want them to get any sort of airtime, they bombarded us with nearly 1,500 emails. And then some of the more extreme ones, we know where you live, you've been warned, we're watching you, we're going to burn the pub down if Santa and his reindeer go on as planned. And then the one that we got on Thursday, which is obviously more concerning, we're going to bomb the pub.
Crown Princess Mary of Denmark has met huntsmen taking part in an annual race. The princess was joined by her 10-year-old twins, Princess Josephine and Prince Vincent, at Hermitage Castle, an 18th century royal hunting lodge north of Copenhagen. Danish royals greeted tens of thousands of people who had turned up to watch the iconic cross-country horse race, the Hubertus Hunt, held on the first Sunday of November, which marks the end of the hunting season in Denmark. Royals watched the traditional race from the balcony of the lodge. French farmers are threatening to take the law into their own hands over bears. So far this year, European brown bears have killed 625 sheep, 16 cattle, 17 horses and a dog in the Pyrenees. There are more than 60 bears at large in the mountains, and they're estimated to have had 6 litters of cubs between them this year. A group of Italian hunters who shot more than 2,000 thrushes in Norway were fined by customs when they discovered that some of the birds were protected. 3 Italian hunters were stopped before boarding a ship at Kristiansand with 2,027 frozen birds in their van. Customs found that 10 of them were protected song thrushes and 31 protected blackbirds. Thanks to Per Holmseth for the story. You can now buy day tickets to hunt moose in Norway for £20 a pop. The state-owned forestry organisation Statskog is offering the tickets where there are moose left over from the season's cull quota. For 250 kroner, you have a whole hunting ground for yourself in one day. The day ticket solution provides tempting hunting experiences for most people and much better management of the elk population. An auction of stuffed animals and trophies reached record prices this October. The Fall Whitetail Classic in Iowa is an institution where trophy antlers of all kinds plus guns and antiques are sold. A polar bear with Arctic ring seal full body mount made the top price of $26,000, nearly £20,000, and a half mount giraffe made $6,400. Despite the wide publicity, animal rights group the Humane Society said it exposed the auction in an undercover investigation, a claim which left auction organisers upset that their advertising campaign hadn't been good enough. A hunting party stranded at an Alaskan fishing camp has had supplies dropped to it by parachute from a C-130 Hercules. 7 people were later rescued after a week when they were trapped by ice on the Yukon River. A Coast Guard helicopter hoisted the 6 adults and 1 teenager to safety from the site and flew them back to civilization 130 miles away. A businesswoman has set a new record price for a Markhor goat trophy. The unnamed hunter paid $160,250 for hunting the animal famed for its coiled horns. 4 permits for 2021-2022 have now sold for over $575,000. Thanks to the cash from hunting, the number of Markhors in Pakistan has increased to as many as 4,000, from as few as 1,500 in 2001. Only old male Markhors are shot. Local communities receive 80% of the licence fees under this programme. Thanks to Jack Knott for the story. And finally, viewer Jamie Hankinson sends in a plea to buy the Naked Huntress calendar. A dozen brave women have taken part to raise money for the Pancreatic Cancer Research Fund, and Miss October is Jamie's wife, Alison. There's a link to buy it on Facebook in the description below. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Available from all good gun shops. Next up, what makes the perfect Labrador? Ollie Williams visits David Templar, top gundog breeder.
I bought Lyra, she's not very happy right now, from Countryways Gundogs, and she's been a roaring success. She's 11 months old now, and I'm chuffed with her. And I've come back today to find out what you need to look for in choosing a puppy. We first met almost a year ago now, when I bought my gorgeous Labrador puppy off you, who's doing well, even though I say so myself.
Well, we'll have a look later and see.
What do we look for as total novices when we're looking at Labrador puppies?
From the beginning, what you're looking at is temperament. I start with everything with temperament. Not everybody is in a shooting field. You know, if they're lucky, they shoot probably as much as yourself. But most people actually shoot a little bit. So the rest of the time, it's got to be their best friend. So we like to provide, if we can, something with the right temperament, something with that trainability, and something that's going to be an athlete. Is to make your life a lot easier. People go on about, a Labrador is just a Labrador. No, it's not actually. We're looking at generations and generations of dogs that are put together to provide the breeding and the background to help you.
People say, oh, got great pedigree, but most people don't really know what that means, to be honest with you, really?
Not at all, really. The biggest problem that we have with everybody, we've all got a pedigree. Myself has got one, just about. I don't know how good it is. Well, not as good as yours anyway. Not as good as yours. But obviously, we all got a pedigree. But the point is when you look at that 5 generation, it's actually looking deep down into it properly. Now, you're not meant to understand it, but if you look at it as a broad thing, you'll see little red bits on it. And they will either be champions or field trials winners or field trials award winners. That means that they have shown themselves in the shooting field. Field trial wise is when you put in rough shooting and shooting into a discipline that we can judge those situations. Mm-hmm. So it means that your dog in its background has been tested for those things. Right? Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at a pedigree, hopefully the dog is out of a field trials champion or certainly out of a winner, which yours is. Yes, yours, luckily for you, is really nice. But actually it's all to do with bitch lines. Everybody goes to the nearest best dog that they've seen or the champion of the moment and whatever. But that's just the dog. The dog is there to complement the bitch.
Is that not the best way to be? Going straight for the best possible champion pedigree you can find?
Well, it is, but you must look at the bitch line. It's the bitches that produce the puppies, not the dog. Okay, we used to say that actually the dog just complements it.
Going back to the basics of it, I suppose, when you're looking at a litter of puppies on the floor, crawling around as 8-week-olds, you're about to pick it up. What are you looking for? Are you looking for the ones that are slightly more reserved, that sit at the back of the room, or the ones that come bounding up to the to the bars?
Well, really, that's where we come into it, really, or the breeder, whoever the breeder of the particular litter is. He should know his line and look at it. If you've looked, I've fortunately locked a lot of puppies over the years, and then what we're trying to do is gear it to what you're about to do. If it's your first dog, it's no good me giving you a Ferrari. You don't even know how to drive. No. So there's a great chance you're going to crash it. And then if you're on your 5th dog, you already know a little bit. I can give you a dog with a little bit more power and a little bit more drive, a little bit more tax in. So what we're going to do is we look at certain ones within that litter, and you can pick them out. At 8 weeks old, you can pick them out if you've seen a few. Yeah. And then you can start to see where they fit, right? We ourselves in our breeding, we like softer type of dogs. Over the years, I would have a softer type of dog that you actually lift the confidence in the dog, and then it just wants to look to you for praise, really. Yeah. So it learns quicker and it's not out to battle you. The problem we don't want is to give you a dog that you're going to tackle it all the time. Yeah. It's going to be very, very. Hopefully, the dog that we gave you was quite simple.
She was very straightforward. I mean, to be honest, she was basically born half trained to all intents and purposes. Can we go have a look at one of them, because everyone loves a puppy?
That's the problem. When people are seeing, they just see a sweet little puppy, and we buy a puppy because a Labrador puppy is a Labrador puppy. I'm now going to show you what I see as a very, very nice puppy, and we'll see where it goes.
Awesome, let's do it.
Thank you.
Breeding is one part of the decision-making process. Confirmation is another.
Right, so here we are, Ollie. We've chose this puppy. Now, there's a reason for choosing this type of puppy for us anyway. And if you look at the puppy itself, we've got everything I want. Even though this wouldn't be a show dog, I still want to look at it. It's like having a good girlfriend. You really want a pretty one, right? So everything is to do with confirmation. The first thing to understand when you pick a puppy up, put the puppy on top of your arm like a baby's. If you carry it like that, one, it freezes. And the other thing is it supports its belly. So it's the right way to hold it, rather than people pick it up with the neck and play around with it, but you really should hold it that way. Now, if we look at the conformation on this dog, it's quite long in the back, which we want for that galloping gait, that stride we like for a bit of speed on it. And then if you look at the back, its tail should go down, so we have that nice tail that goes down, a bit of length on it, a waggy tail if we can, which is rather nice. Don't really want a tail that's going up in the air. When it's up in the air, it's a bit like a beagle, so it's there. And then when we look at the front end, we've got nice straight legs. I mean, this is only a 6-week-old puppy, so the conformation is not exact just yet. But we've got nice straight legs, a nice bold head with a lovely dark nose, because that just shows up really, really nice. Nice set ears, a little tiny knowledge bump. It's got a little pimple on the top of its head. That will split in the end and strengthen out. And we got dark eyes, which I like dark eyes. We call it kind eyes. We used to call it kind eyes in hounds, and it's called kind eyes. And if you see a Labrador that you don't like, I guarantee it'll have light eyes. And colour-wise, when you actually look at colour, here we look at a Labrador, and you say, what colour will this dog end up? They end up the colour of their ears. So if you're looking at red ones, when somebody says it's going to be a fox red Labrador, if its ears are light coloured, that's the colour it's going to end up.
A lot of people with Labradors, they complain about, Labradors have a big head, big clunky head. Is that
no, I mean, obviously it's beauty, and most people are all to do with what they've known in the past. Yeah. So they say, the best dog I ever had a big head, so I have a big head. Yeah. But actually it's about confirmation. It's no good just having a big head, right? If you've got that body, and the body's long and it's got a strong head, not a problem, right? Same as having one that's just all thin with a little tiny pin head. You really want all the confirmation.
One thing that worries Labrador owners is dysplasia and hip scoring.
Most of us think of buying a Kennel Club registered puppy, and we always want to buy a Kennel Club registered puppy, and they have a certain criteria you look at from an amateur's point of view, and you look through and you look at things like hips, elbows, DNA tests in that. You should buy a puppy, waggy tail puppy. You should buy a puppy that has got a good hip score. That is a low hip score. I think the mean average at the present moment is about 12 with a Labrador. They go to a board that tests them, how they fit within the socket. All right, and what will happen is if you've got a dog that's a very high hip score, so it's a hip score, say 30 on one side, then the top is flat and there's a large gap, which means it's going to get arthritis in it. So later on in life, before it was invented or ever you went into scoring, you get a dog when it was 8 years old, it started to stagger about because it's got arthritis in its hip, so it's a structural problem. Now, a lot of dogs can have a high hip score and never ever get a problem. But what we're trying to do is keep the breeding so that we have a low hip score, so we're breeding a dog with not too many genetic faults in it. But don't get totally hung up on it. It has to combine with having a well-bred dog. It's no good having a dog that's got all the MOTs and got all the tests, but actually it can't do the job and you cannot train it.
Thank you so much for today, David. For more on Countryways Gundogs, go to countrywaysgundogs.com.
As part of a series of films we recorded in the Carter Jonas Game Fair Theatre in July, which we're putting out as podcasts, I talked to the man behind the grouse on the famous grouse bottle, sporting artist Rodger McPhail.
Being an artist, very much a one-man band, you know, you're stuck in a room on your own all day. But as it happens, I'm a member of a group called Red Spot Artists, which are other wildlife artists, and we all enjoy it because, you know, it's a chance for us all to get together and have a good whinge.
Do you whinge about galleries mainly?
Yes.
Thought so. There's a link in the description below to take you to the full interview, and the book itself is available in our shop at its list price. You can get it cheaper from Amazon, but buying it from us helps support what we do. As does joining the Fieldsports Nation, whose benefits I spell out each week. Next, from paintings to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Alex Vankov, a Russian living in the UK, sends me this. It's in Russian, but he commends the action at around 2.5 minutes in, when he shoots 2 fallow bucks in 10 seconds. That is proper pressure shooting. Wayne Carberry put pheasant and woodcock hunting November 1st, 2021 on Facebook to celebrate the opening of the season in Ireland. Interesting film from Christopher Clausen in Norwegian. He reckons it's safer to hunt with thermal at night than ordinary scopes in the day because animals are more visible. County deer stalking takes the sleeper train from London to Scotland in order to enjoy the last of the red stag stalking and the opening of the hind season. Meanwhile, John Bailey of Bailey's Shooting and Country Wear is out after the hinds in the southern part of the Isle of Skye with noted stalker Scott Mackenzie. To New Zealand, where J.E. Wilds takes a shot at a good chamois. In this steep country, it's one thing shooting, it's another extracting. Tyler Bryan, a wildlife biologist and wilderness guide based in Saskatchewan, Canada, gets in touch about his YouTube channel, which he started last year. Living High Wild and Free aims to address the lack of conservation and science in outdoor video. And finally, The Real Gunsmith is back. After a few months off as they dealt with the effects of COVID, Randy and Kathy Selby are back at work in this film explaining muzzle brakes, thread caps and suppressors. Thanks to Per Homseth for sending this in. That's it for this week. I have put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, that's it for this week. If you haven't done so already, please pop over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, pop your email address into our register page and we'll contact you about this show. Fieldsports Britain, it's at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. And this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.